Ronnie, you've seen a lot of baseball.
Ooh.
Have you seen anything that compares to what you saw on Friday night?
I've never seen anything like it. I think that we're used to seeing great things from great athletes, and we always find the words. I found it very difficult to find any words for what happened on Friday night. That's something that I thought might be 100 years from now, maybe. I didn't know it was present now. It was just it was stuff that you see in Williamsport. You don't see at Dodger Stadium on a Friday night.
A Little League World Series instead of a playoff. But, no other player has this opportunity to pitch and then bat leadoff. I mean, there's nobody else. Even Babe Ruth didn't do this. He probably batted third in the lineup with the Yankees, but he stopped pitching to just then concentrate on hitting.
Yeah, it's and the pitching and the way you pitched and got people out in those days certainly is a little different than what guys are looking at today. But I remember, I'm old enough that when I was drafted, I remember saying to my agent, I said, what if I don't like who drafts me? Why can't I go to Japan and play for a couple of years? I'm 20 years old. It would be a great place to hang out, learn a lot about baseball, formative years, and also a new culture. And my agent told me that you'd be blackballed from baseball forever. But the one thing he did say, and I'll never forget it, is he said, it's inferior baseball over there. They'll have some pitchers maybe someday come over and make their mark. But the everyday player will never have a place in a Major League Baseball. And in my lifetime, we have the best player that I've ever seen was born in Japan.
But you also look at this and you wonder that, will this spawn other players who, and usually your pitcher is your shortstop and your best player and he bats third in the lineup. Why haven't we seen more of this? Paul Skeens was a great hitter in college, and I don't know. Can you take advantage of that? Will teams do that?
I can only speak from my own experience, because when I hear about other pitchers that were great hitters, I'm always a little skeptical, and only in this sense is that I was a player pitcher myself, and I had great years as a collegiate. And then I started taking batting practice against major league pitchers, and the spin and the velocity. And I was, wow, am I out of my league? So even most collegiate players who are great hitters and pitchers find when they get to the major league level that they're not. So that's what makes it even more remarkable.
What was it more remarkable, the pitching or the hitting? If we separate the two, that he hits 3 bombs, but also the pitching, because, man, that was some filthy stuff that he was throwing.
Well, I think if we separate it, the pitching was remarkable only because he hasn't done a lot of it this year, and that he could be 2 weeks in between throwing in a major league game and produce those kind of results. But the one thing, Dan, I will tell you, especially his second and third home run, our people at Turner, they do such a great job with the pictures and the sound. They could not replicate the sound that second home run made. From the booth, it sounded like someone had shot off a cannon. I mean, the sound of the connection between bat and ball, I've never heard that before. And I've heard some great sounds, including some personally off me, that ended up going a long way. But I had never in the booth heard something that loud. And, we tried to capture it leaving the stadium. And when I was a young player going to Dodger Stadium for the first time, I had people all the time say, well, that's where Stargell hit the ball over the pavilion. And I guess kind of like Ted Williams' seat in Fenway Park. Yeah, whatever. Whatever you want to say. That's great. That's a nice story. And then you see someone do it. And you say to yourself, that which you thought was impossible is possible.